A thing of beauty, ladies and gentlemen, be most heartily greeted. This is your host Nino, inviting you to an episode in which we shall be having a look at an old Siemens phone and how to address the two main scourges that one is most commonly afflicted by when attempting to purchase such a device. The first and smaller one is the circumstance that such old phones, now soon about a quarter century old, no longer have really serviceable batteries. And unfortunately, a battery costs not far away from the price of the device itself. You may, of course, still get that in the unlikely occasion that you find that what I'm about to present you unaesthetic for whatever reason, but if you are willing to put up with a battery clip, in fact, you can do without a battery. The other factor, which is a little bit harder to fix, is what happens is if the phone is in fact locked. Now, I don't understand why many sellers online are simply lying about the SIM lock status of the phone, because once you put in your SIM card, with a very large likelihood, you will discover that lie and challenge the sale, but still you will chance upon many a seller who actually do that, and perhaps you also might encounter an offer that is so good that you still will accept a locked phone. So how to unlock it? That is a bit of a riskier procedure because you will need to completely disassemble the phone and cut a trace on its motherboard straight next to one of the chips. And then you will need to use early 2000s Windows XP era software in order to, from then on, unlock it. But it is perfectly achievable. And in today's episode, we shall explore these two main issues, starting with the electricity-related one and proceeding towards unlocking the phone. Be heartily welcome and enjoy. Let us consider first, perhaps the easiest part, the electricity. So phones like this are commonly fed by a 3.7 volt lithium-ion battery that is connected typically not just by two poles, but by some further connectors to the phone itself. 3.7 volt lithium-ion very much reminded me of what I might get with normal rechargeable batteries, which are typically 1.2 volt, or in a capsule of 3 give you 3.6 volt. This 0.1 volt, I figured, will not matter much. So you can see here, two cables are coming out of this, but 3 are coming in here. So what's the matter? Well, you are having plus and minus, as well as this middle pole, which is connected to the plus of the battery, but through a resistor. In this case, 15K, or as I put it here, 10K and 5K in serial. This value, unfortunately, needs to be met quite precisely. I discovered this phone will even turn on without this middle connection, so just connecting it to plus and minus. But unfortunately, this middle connection matters for the SIM card. And if your resistance value is too low, then your SIM card will be put through too much power. And if it is too high, then it might be that the phone believes that the battery is off or very low charge and not work. So you have to unfortunately figure out what the middle connection is. And it seems that for Siemens phones such as this, values like 15K are what is to be expected. So what I'm having here is therefore these two, cables coming out of the battery connector, and then the positive one splitting into a direct connection going towards the plus pole and a connection with two resistors going to the middle connector. And that gives us a good enough value so that the phone believes that its battery is half charged. Now the fun part is this half charged situation hasn't been changing nearly at all, despite me playing with it practically all day, because these three batteries contain a lot more charge than the one single battery the phone is actually designed for. So certainly in terms of endurance, that is a very good solution. With the electricity being handled, we shall now proceed towards disassembling the phone entirely in order to cut a trace next to a chip that will be needed in order for us to be able to remove the SIM lock from it. So that's the part with the electricity, and now we progress towards unlocking. Assuming you manage to take the phone apart, for which you will need a rather fine hex screwdriver, you will find a setup which looks quite similar in all of the Siemens models of that era. Behind some sort of heat shield, which is not firmly attached but which can be pried off rather easily, like there are little metal flaps which you can lift with a scalpel, you shall discover a set of chips. We're interested in this big friend here, and there is a specific little trace that I severed with a scalpel. Now, some other guides are advising to do so with a needle, but I found the needle slippery and imprecise. In fact, slipping off and being at risk of damaging other traces. So beware what you choose to do. And now let us just briefly examine exactly which trace you need to cut. All right, so you see here there are three traces, 1, 2, 3, just to the left of this white spot of major damage, right? Like one trace, one little metal dot, and then two traces, and then damage. So to the right of this third trace, there is a trace which I nuked, as you can see, with quite some violence, and cannot guarantee that I didn't a little bit damage some other traces, but it worked well enough to sever it. So sever the trace immediately to the right of the three traces around the metal dot, and you will have performed the operation successfully. The chip in question, I'm not sure that this is now more readable, is this one. So look for this chip and inflict the damage as shown. Once you have done that, the Joker tool will work in order to grant you a removal of the SIM lock of the phone. Apologies for the quality, but in an internet guide for a Siemens A65, a sort of similar phone, we are seeing here a very similar situation, and perhaps this makes it a little bit clearer. So here we are having this big chip that I described, whose traces we want to cut, and here at the side you are again seeing such two bowed traces coming out. The third one is shaped a bit differently, but this is really the same story. And it's not a dot here, but a little square. Still, this is the group that we want to leave untouched. And straight next to them is this little trace that we want to cut right here with a scalpel. From the hardware perspective, you will need a Siemens serial cable, such as, for instance, this one for the Siemens A60, and which is having such a head with multiple pins. Pay attention that the earlier cables had a plastic underside, whereas the newer models are featuring a full metal one. Now, that is easily connected to the phone on the one hand, but on the other hand, things start to be a little bit tricky, as this is a DB9 serial port connector, formerly very standard on all sorts of computer equipment, but nowadays having become rather rare. However, in order to connect, you may very well use a USB to DB9 adapter, and thereby you may connect the old phone to your modern computer. A good question is what tools to obtain in order to unlock your Siemens phone. A classical software for many older models has become Joker, which is available on the Czech website siemensmania.cz in various versions. You may download and experiment with multiple versions and see what works best for you. Now, the thing with tools like Joker is that they expect to be run on antique operating systems, on ancient hardware, and to have a sort of access to hardware that is rarely permitted nowadays. As I am running a modern Linux system, I decided my best venue would be to create and run the whole thing on a Windows XP virtual machine on VirtualBox. And to that end, I created a direct connection between Windows COM1 serial port and the Linux representation DEF-TTY USB 0 of my USB to DB9 serial adapter. That way, Windows XP could talk to the phone directly. Once you obtain the Joker software from siemensmania.cz, you will be presented here on the virtual Windows XP with such a little icon of death. And this is where you can start Joker. Just prior to doing so, make sure that you're having your phone connected to the computer via its serial connector, right? Which in turn then is connected to the DB9 to USB extensions. So you're having really a physical connection from the phone to the computer. And now comes the crucial part. The phone is supposed to be off. And as you start Joker, you're presented with this menu where evidently on the left you select what model you are interested in. And here it is that I'm deviating from most guides. The guides are suggesting that you explore the phone a bit. I'm against this. You already know it's locked. That's why you're here, right? I instead suggest that you straight go for the unlocking option and execute that. You can then still explore the phone at leisure, or you can explore it previously in a separate session, but just be aware that exploring the phone with Joker, for me, has had more than once the result in the phone entering some sort of undesirable state in which it is resisting unlocking. So you do everything correctly, but it just doesn't fire it up. So don't fumble it. Just strictly go for the S key tab and there click Recalc All Keys. What will then happen is that the software will enter a state in which it waits for you to turn on the phone in a special fashion, and you'll see that state by a creeping blue line on the bottom of the screen, which is like repeatedly flashing a sort of progress bar. The point now is to turn on the phone with its turn on button, which you shall not press too briefly, because if you press it too briefly, it will not even notice that you pressed it, nor shall you press it long enough for it to turn on in its normal fashion, because you don't want that. You shall press it therefore just briefly but long enough to just trigger the software's hooks and just have the phone being recognized in some desired fashion. So Recalc All Keys is your option, and just in a second I shall show you what column of output to expect here on the right that will signal to you that the unlocking has been successful. And now let me just briefly, if I manage to, demonstrate you this turning on thing. Let's say I click here on service mode. It will be the same situation. It will start to creep blue on the bottom of the screen, and I must press on just long enough for the phone to execute properly for that option. So service mode, okay, it's creeping here. You see it's waiting for me to turn it on. Pressing this a little bit, and you see the phone did what it should do. It is now showing service mode. This apparently wasn't a terribly successful connection, but that's the way you're supposed to turn it on. If I press it too long, the phone would simply start with the normal Siemens greeting and the whole operation here would fail, right? So you go in the same fashion for S key and recalc all keys. If you do manage to successfully unlock the phone with Joker, then these here are the last lines of text that the output of Joker will show. If you successfully reach this final line, then that will mean that your phone has been unlocked. Various guides are suggesting that afterwards your phone should reboot. Mine didn't. It was just hanging. But nonetheless, upon cold booting it, upon restarting it forcefully, it worked okay and was unlocked. If the unlocking process fails, the likeliest cause is that you have not properly cut the trace as described in this video. Assuming you followed the steps presented here, in the end you can triumphantly flip on the electricity and turn on the phone in order to enjoy a marvelous piece of industrial telecommunications design. So here we see the phone is asking me to confirm its switch on, and we are presented with the logo of the provider. God knows why it needs quite a while to start, so the menu does not appear immediately. I'm not sure is this due to what I was doing or has anything else caused this. But yeah, once one waits a little bit, even these menu options start to appear. And here we are, ready to explore the internet and to communicate with people. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is over. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope to greet you here soon again. If not a subscriber yet, it would be awfully kind of you to consider joining our friendly club. Until we meet again, I wish you a wonderful time. Thank you for watching, and from me, goodbye.